Okay, this is going to be another volume in the series called Paying Child Support. Of course, they're going to talk about it, see what happens, and of course, we'll give my take on it, give my commentary. All right, let's begin.
All rise. Support Court with Judge Van Der Bee is now in session. Judge's case number JVB 2003, Morris case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. All right, Mr. Morris, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, I come to you today, Your Honor, because I'm trying to get my child support reduction.
Okay. All right. Based on what? Like, what's going on?
Well, I currently pay $880 a month for child support.
Okay.
I also pay $362 for health insurance. And I see my kids every maybe like 4 times a week.
All right, let me say this before you continues. Whew. Whether you're married or, well, if you're married, then more likely you won't be going through this. But in the relationship, if things don't work out with you and with the man and the woman, then this is what usually happens. A lot of times, a woman will end up taking you to court for child support. And not only do you have to pay child support now, these days, day and age now, it used to be a time where you could just pay child support and that would be it. But now in this case, and now in this day and age, not only do they have you paying child support, but you also have to provide medical insurance for the child, even if the child is not living with you, even if you're not what they call a custodial parent, which means the child actually living with you. Because they have what they call custodial parent, which is who the child lives with, and a non-custodial parent who the child doesn't live with. And usually, in most cases, it's usually the mother who is the custodial parent who the child or children stay with, and the father is usually in most cases is the non-custodial parent, which means he the one who doesn't live, who the child doesn't reside with. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
I see them pretty often, and she's trying to take my kids and move off to Florida.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm not going for that.
All right. Did she tell you why she was trying to move to Florida?
Because she just want to live her best life.
She said that?
That's what it is. She want to go to the beach, drink coconut balls, whatever they have out there in Florida, and just have her best life.
Okay, wait a minute. So did she actually tell you that, or you interpreting her as living her best life?
Your Honor, why would anybody else want to move to Florida? That's Paradise City.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to move too, but I can't go.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I got to work.
Well, some people want to move to Florida. I mean, if I had a chance, I'd probably, I don't live in Florida, but if I had a chance, I wouldn't mind living in Florida, mainly because of the warm weather. Warm weather mostly all year round. Certain parts of Florida, of course, have to deal with hurricanes, but that's another subject for another day. But there's nothing wrong with moving to another state. You can get another job there and things of that nature and stuff like that. And maybe he might have a point here. Maybe that's one of the reasons why she might want to move to Florida, like he say, maybe, to live it up, kick her feet in the sand, lay back on the beach, catch a tan, and all those things like that. Nothing wrong with that, but as long as she's, being a good mother and providing, taking care of her children, or child, or children, whatever, case may be. All right, let's continue.
So could it be for a job?
Your Honor, I haven't asked because when she told me that she wanted to move to Florida, I got so upset about the fact of losing my kids that I was like, are you moving to Florida for like vacation time or just so you can live your best life, or because we in Texas? I'm in Texas. I'm a good dad.
So what did she say to that when you said, are you trying to move to Florida to live your best life?
She said, you shouldn't have messed up.
What did you do?
It's a long story, Your Honor. I can tell you how we split up, but I kind of messed up.
Well, I have time. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. I didn't even realize you had gum in your mouth till you start smiling. I don't allow gum chewing in here.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, it's okay. You can just put it to your back of your throat.
Yes,
I'm not
ma'am.
going to tell you to swallow it. I don't think that's really healthy.
Yes, ma'am.
But
It's
I
to the
got
back.
time for the story when you're ready, after you.
It's to the back right now, Your Honor. No more chewing for me.
Okay.
So,
Continue.
long story short, I met this lady our freshman year of college.
Okay.
And we were in class, and she was sitting in the front, I was sitting in the back. And I saw her, and I said, man, I'm going to have to put my bid in as soon as class is over.
Bid, that's what they call it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we call it put your bid in. Because
All
I'm
right.
sure there's other people that put their bid in too. So if I got the highest bid, of course, I'm going to get her,
Oh, so
So-
you subcontracting these things.
And like he said, what he mean by put his bid in there, he saw the young lady, he liked it her, and he said by putting his bid in, he wanted to talk to her and get to know her and see where things go from there. So if any of y'all want to know what that means, that's just the basic definition of when a person says putting their bid in. All right, let's continue.
Things now.
I was, yeah. At that time, I was subcontracting, you know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Right.
Keep going.
So I saw her in the hall, and I came to her, and my bid won. And we was together for years, Your Honor. We were together for years. We have 2 kids. We have a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Throughout the time, and as life just went on, we just started kind of fading, Your Honor. I'm a coach. I'm a football coach at a college.
Okay.
And one of the cheerleading coaches kept hitting on me. And I kept rejecting her.
So you put a bid on her too?
She put the bid on me, Your Honor.
All right, let me say this too real quick. Also, I want to, especially for the young men, I want to express this and everything. If you, before you thinking about having a child, getting married, or even being in a relationship, especially if you have a child, you need, as a man, you need to be, have your stuff together. And what I mean by have your stuff together, you need to be, have a job, you need to be working, saving money, try to get your own place, your own apartment, or if you can afford to buy a house and get your house or rent a house, do that as well. But basically, before you decide to start a family and everything like that, and if you are going to lay down and have sex, you need to protect yourself. Protection is not 100% because you can use protection, and with using protection, of course, the condom could break, and the woman can still end up pregnant. So it's good to protect yourself if you're going to do that, especially if you don't want a child. And even if also, let me say this as well too, gentlemen, do not eat it if a woman says that she's on birth control and she said you don't have to use a condom. My advice to you, you should still use a condom no matter what, because even her, she could be on birth control, but birth control is not 100%. A woman can still get pregnant by you, even if she's using birth control. Or sometimes she could say she's on birth control when she's not, just because she wants to get pregnant and try to trap you with that. And that don't work, then you end up in court paying child support. So don't fall for that either, gentlemen. So that's my best advice to you. If you're not ready to have a child or have any kids or nothing, make sure you protect yourself. But like I say, before you think about having a child, kids, I think you young as men, older or younger, like I say, you need to work on having your stuff together. And what I mean by having your stuff together is, having your own place, working the job, saving up money, and getting your own place, living, your own apartment, maybe even. And if you can't afford an own apartment by yourself, maybe, get a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe you and a friend. I could, be roommates. Or, you can rent a room from a house, because people do have houses they rent, and they do rent out rooms at a house. So something to that effect as well, too. Something to think about before you decide to start a family and everything. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, she put the bid on me. So I gave in to that bid. She had a high bid. And at the time, my lady, she wasn't putting no more bids on me. She wasn't cooking me dinner. She wasn't massaging me like she used to. She wouldn't even let me watch sports on Sundays, Your Honor, because she wanted to watch The Bachelor. So it just wasn't working, and I gave in to.
And let me say this too, that happens. Every relationship goes through the highs and lows in the beginning. Everything starts out right. They're doing this, they're doing that. And as the relationship or even marriage goes along, a lot of stuff they used to do, they stop doing. So that does happen. All right. Because they feel, hey, with some, both men and women, once they feel they got the person, then a lot of stuff they were doing to get the person, they kind of ease back or ease off. And sometimes, in some cases, they even stop cold of things they were doing before. Because they feel, hey, I got him now. I don't need to do all this. Hey, I got her now. I don't need to do all this. All right, let's continue.
To what was going on, and I messed up. She saw my phone. She saw that I was with her a few times, and she left me, Yana.
Okay.
She left me.
That was a very colorful story. It's very interesting. I hear the word bid. I think about someone, trying to do construction on my home. So it's just interesting hearing you use that term referring to relationships. Okay, so you don't want her to move to Florida.
No, ma'am.
All right? And you want your child support reduced as a result. If she does move, or do you just want it reduced just because?
I just want it reduced just because.
Okay, got it.
I feel like I know dudes that don't see their kids ever, and they not on child support. I see my kids multiple times through the week, and I'm paying $880 a month.
Okay. Fair enough. I believe I have.
Let me say this real quick before they continue. You see how much he's paying? That's almost $1,100 a month for 2 children. So that's a lot of money. So he's paying almost $1,100 a month. So that means he's paying $400 for each child and child support. That's $800. And he's paying $300 for insurance. So that's like $150 for insurance for each child. So he paid $1,100. So that something you guys need to think about when you're laying down and having relations, having relationships with a woman, or, sex, of course. But I'm trying to keep it, clean, PG. All right, let's continue.
A majority of what I needed. Okay, is there anything else you wanted me to know before I move over to her?
No, that's about it, Yana. That's
okay.
About it.
All right. Now, and give me your last name.
It's Adams with 2 D's.
Adams with 2 D's. Okay. All right. Mrs. Adams or Miss Adams.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Adams. So tell me about this story that he told. He actually, you wanted to bid, or he wanted to bid.
Well, I think that tells you everything you need to know about his view of relationships is very transactional.
Oh yeah, that's the word I was looking for. That's it, transactional.
Yeah,
okay.
It's very much I do this and you do that, and I think the fact that he didn't even bother to mention our children's names should tell you everything about our relationship.
Well, he told me the ages.
Yeah, well, that's great. Robert and Madison, that's with a Y.
But she didn't ask for the kid.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Anyway, so going back to, evidently I'm just going to Florida for a permanent vacation. I'm actually going for a job.
All right.
So what's that job?
Robert, and I'm going to be a marine biologist.
So when this dream come apart? Because you ain't had this dream when we met.
See, exactly.
And let me say this too. A lot of times this does, happen. You could be with a person and then things don't work out, they break up, and then a lot of times, they decide they want to move to this place or that place, or, sometimes, like I said, job opportunity might come up and they want to move. Sometimes it might not always be a job, but sometimes they want to move, because of other reasons. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
Do you ever listen?
Miss Adams,
Let me say this too, real quick before they continue. If she does move, or you can't stop her from moving, if she does move, then you just have to deal with the move. And then that's why I said it's always important that that you should try to also, get, custody or share custody or joint custody of your child or children in a case like this. When you're dealing with someone, and it work out and you have to pay child support, if you could afford it, try to get your lawyer, see if you could get maybe full custody and take care of the kids yourself if you could do that. Or if you can't get full custody, maybe at least try to get shared custody, or some places call it joint custody, something along those lines. Shared custody or joint custody. That's what you should try to do, because that really helps out a lot, and that does help, with your child support as well too. Because if you get shared custody, joint custody, your child support tends to be a lot less because y'all both have custody of the child. All right, let's continue.
Adams, I need you to talk directly to me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Morris, I'm giving you an opportunity to speak. Let me hear what she has to say.
You're right,
and
Judge,
people
I'm sorry.
can change dreams. I mean, depending on how long you guys have been apart, a lot could have changed in her life.
It's just she taking my kids, Judge.
Okay, well, let's hear what she has to say.
Right. Yeah.
She said marine biologist, right?
Yes.
That sounds like a really good job, and I want to hear about it. See how much money she makes.
She
all
just
right?
having random dreams, Judge, but it's all
Okay, that's great, but I need to see how much money she's making.
Right.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk.
And let me say this as well too, that whenever you go to court, especially mainly for men and women, but whenever you go to court and judge talks to you, answers the questions, and then once they move on to the other person, it's best to try to just be. I know you might be angry, upset, or getting frustrated and everything, but you still want to always, keep your composure and keep your cool, and try not to, have outbursts here and there, going back and forth with the plaintiff or defendant, whichever the case may be. In this case, he's the plaintiff and she's the defendant, and try not to go back and forth, and also interrupting and everything. You let them, judge let you say what you have to say, then let her say what she has to say, and then after she finishes, then you can ask, judge, can you speak? And then whatever she says, you can dispute it to say, Your Honor, that it's not true, that's a lie what she said, and go on with your testimony. But sometimes, when you go back and forth and have outbursts and interrupt the court proceedings like that, this can really something that can really hurt your case, and it might not, go and work in your favor. Just something for everybody to think about. All right, let's continue.
More listening.
And you do the same thing. All right, now continue.
Jesus.
So I'm taking the kids to Florida because I have a greater job opportunity.
Okay.
And, it's so interesting to me that he says that he sees the kids 4 times a week. I guess he's talking about maybe a FaceTime call or seeing them on his phone screen, because I certainly don't see him picking up the kids and taking them to the doctor and cleaning up vomit in the middle of the night. So it's great that he thinks that he's paying for the right to see his kids. And that there are people who don't pay child support and who see their kids a whole lot, Judge. That tells you everything you need to know about the transactional nature of relationships to Mr. Morris. So, look, the fact of the matter is, I guess he doesn't realize that his children are going to need to eat, whether they live in Texas or they live in Florida. And
That's true.
And they're going to need new tennis shoes and new clothes. And I guess he just thinks that money goes on trees, or that kids just eat for free. It's not how it works. This isn't TGI Fridays. So the cost of living is going to be higher in Florida.
All right. What are we looking at?
What is a home warranty? It's a 1-year service plan that helps cover costs.
Okay, so my rent is going up from $2,000 a month to $2,800 a month.
Okay.
because I have to have a 3-bedroom because Robert and Madison need their own bedrooms. And of course, I have to pay for flood insurance and other things like that.
Well, let me say this too, real quick. But being that she's moving there and she's getting another job there and the job pays more money, then I don't know why she asking for more money from him. But this is a lesson, to learn that, a lot of times if you're with someone and y'all have a child or children together and you break up, sometimes when you go to child support there, some people might do this, try to run you to the ringer and try to get more money out of you than what you're paying, than what you might be previously paying. So that's why I tell you guys, be careful, of what you get into when it comes to having a child or having children, because this is one of the situations that you'll have to deal with if you're having a child or having children. All right, let's continue.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned food.
Yeah, so the kids eat organic.
Okay.
And they're vegan. And so my grocery bill for them is already close to $800 a month.
Okay.
So his opinion that $880 is too much for the kids is wrong. It is a wrong opinion because your children deserve the nutrition they need to grow up big and healthy and strong so they can be college athletes like you want them to.
Okay, so Ms. Adams, you said that your rent is going up $800.
Yeah.
You have to pay flood insurance. The children's diet, they eat organic food and they're vegan. Okay, so are you using the child support for flood insurance and rent too, or are you using it to feed the kids? I just want to make sure I'm clear on what it is that you're saying in regards to his request to get a reduction.
Yes, Your Honor. So the thing is that if I was living in a 1-bedroom because I was by myself, my rent would be a lot lower.
All right.
But I have to get a 3-bedroom because I have a boy and a girl, and I don't want them sleeping in the same bedroom.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I have to get a 3-bedroom, and so it's not just that. It's my electric bill. It's cell phones because our 5-year-old has a cell phone. So now I have to make sure that we've got her a phone line so you can talk to her dad.
And let me say this too: this is my opinion. 5-year-olds shouldn't be having no cell phones. She should have a house phone, and if she needs to talk to her dad or call her dad, she can call her dad from the home phone, or even use your cell phone. 5-year-olds don't need to be having those cell phones. Now I can see if she was 12, 13, or something like that, and you wanted her to have a phone. Okay, fine. But 5-year-old have a cell phone? No, they shouldn't have a cell phone. And if you want your daughter to have a cell phone, then I feel that she should be the one paying for the cell phone, not the dad. That's just my opinion and take on that. But people, you do that as you will. All right, let's continue.
You can see her 4 times a week on FaceTime.
So about that, he said that he sees the children now 4 times a week, and you're saying that's not true, except for like a FaceTime video or something like that.
He sees the kids on an inconsistent basis.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Okay. So when you say inconsistent, right now, do you all operate under a standard order where it's like first, third, and fifth?
He has every weekend, and I have during the week.
Okay, so every weekend he has.
Right.
Okay. During that every weekend, it's inconsistent, is what you're saying?
I mean, it's just all over the place. He just comes and goes and sees the kids whenever it's convenient to him, or maybe his girlfriend turns him down for a date or whatever.
Okay, so that was petty.
What girlfriend you talking about?
We didn't have to go there. We didn't have to go there. So is that what the issue is? Like, you're still mad at him about that story that he told?
Well, okay, so he put in a bid for an upgrade.
Let me say this too. This saying is true. It said hell has no fear like a woman's horns. So a lot of times you relationship with a woman, things don't work out, or if you mess around or something, she could be a woman scorned, and I mean, when she could be not a woman scorned, but when a woman is scorned, she could become bitter, angry, jealous, and very vengeful and wrathful. It's something for you guys to think about. When you wrong a female, wrong a woman. I'm sorry, in this case. So be very careful about that, because that can happen. And if you wrong the wrong woman, she can make your life a living hell. To put it nicely. All right, let's continue.
Or the upgrade, put in the bid for him or whatever, and now I have to explain to our son why our family fell apart.
Oh, so it's some hurt feelings there. Okay, I understand. So, have you already moved to Florida, or is this something that you're intending on doing pretty soon?
Well, I took the job offer and I've already found an
So the
apartment.
answer is yes. You pretty much already.
Everything but the U-Haul, Your Honor.
Okay. So in your court order, do you have a geographic restriction because Dad lives here?
Yes, but he moved just outside of Ellis County, so he's just outside of the geographic restriction, so it's technically lifted, Your Honor.
Guys, girls notice your skin. It's literally the first thing they notice when they look at you. So you have to make.
Okay. And technically is what you said, but is that what your court order says?
Well, the court order says Dallas and contiguous counties, and he moved like a mile on the other side of the Ellis County line.
Okay. And I do have a copy of your court order here, and it doesn't mention that it's automatically lifted.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just thinking it was the one that.
O is right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
O
Thank
is
you.
right.
I'm sorry.
O is right. Because you can't just leave. You can't just do that. You actually have to ask permission to modify this order like he did.
Well, can I modify the order to move to Florida?
Did you file anything for today?
I mean,
It's a yes or no.
No.
Okay. So you're moving without asking the court, can you move? And Dad is still living here.
Well, I guess
And let me say this too. I didn't believe this at first, but I see it's true that even though you can have a child or have children, but also the government also owns your children as well too until they become of age, till they become 18 and older. The government also have control of the children. Well, yes, the children stays with the parents, they stays with the mom, or maybe stay with the dad, or stay with both parents. But the government also has a say in that as well too, and that's why in certain cases where if it's child abuse or child neglect, that's why you have the states and different states, of course, have what they call child protective service. If they feel that a child is being abused or being mistreated, that's why they can come in and take the children away from you. So yes, the government does, is award to the state as well too. Just in case nobody didn't know, just in case people don't know that. But I learned that and was told that a long time ago. I didn't believe it, but then I did research on it and looked it up, and yes, it's true. And I would say if you don't believe me as well, fine. Go do your own research, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, anyway, let's continue.
I just didn't understand the way the order was written, because I had heard that if he moved outside of where it said, then I could move out.
Who did you hear that from? Did you Google? You did one of those Google searches? One of the Google lawyers told you that?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay. Because they told you wrong, and that's the problem with Googling everything. You should have actually consulted with an attorney who would have interpreted this order properly to you. You can't just move. So let me tell you what we're going to do, because I think this is the fair thing to do. Regardless to whether you say his visits are inconsistent, he say they're consistent, the reality of it is when you move to Florida, he can no longer have access to those kids. So even if he were coming this day, this day, this day, and did every weekend, he won't be able to do that anymore now that you are going to move to Florida. So what I'm not going to touch is your custody arrangement. Not going to touch that at all. This is a child support court. That has nothing to do with us, okay? So I'm not going to touch it at all. You are free to move to Florida. However, he's coming off child support. So then he can use the money, the $880 or so that he would give you for child support. He can use that to travel to actually see the kids.
But what if he doesn't, Your Honor?
Well, if he doesn't, then after some time of him not doing it consistently, and when I say consistently and consecutively, it needs to at least be about 6 months or something like that, right? Then you can come back and let me know, Judge, he's not exercising regularly. I need some support for these 2 kids, right? But absent anything like that, I believe that's in the best interest of the children. And quite frankly, that's fair. You're moving without permission, right? Yeah. Which is a violation of your court order. So it's only fair that he stops paying child support. So beyond a reduction, he's coming out child support today. Now, you will have to keep maintaining the health insurance, okay?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. So.
Wow, didn't know that. So that way, so there's something to keep in mind, for both, men and women, of course, that if the woman is moving out of state to another state, then then I guess in some states they can't do that. But I guess some states you could do that. But even still, even if your child lives in another state, she can still move to that other state and possibly file for child support. The reason I know that is because the time when I had my son when he was younger, I was paying child support. I lived in one state and my son lived with his mother in another state. So I know about that, But that's another story for another day. But yeah, so she said, being that she's moving and they hasn't gone through the order, she's suspended the child support, but he still has to pay health insurance. And I guess if she wants child support to where she's moving at, she's probably going to have to go file for child support in that state, and that state will have to contact the state that he lives in. Like for example, I think she said she's moving to Florida, and I think he lives in Texas. So she will have to go file for child support in Florida. Florida will also have to get in touch with the state of Texas, and we'll have to go through the child support thing that way. So that's how that would work. But if I was him, so she's taking him off child support. That's probably only going to be temporary, because if she's going to still move to Florida, she's probably going to file for child support in Florida. So if I was him, I hope he'll take that money and save that money up, because he's probably going to still have to pay that child support later on. All right, let's continue.
So that, what is it, 362?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll still continue to pay the health insurance, but there will be no child support paid from him to you. Hopefully you got...
All right, let me say this as well, too. I don't know why they started doing that. I think this is just my opinion, my take. I feel that whoever the custodial parent is, whoever the child or children live with, that parent should be the one covering for the health insurance. Being that if you're paying child support, that's just my opinion. I don't know why they've done that or they're doing this way now. I know years ago it wasn't always this way, but things do change. But that's my opinion. I think they should go back to doing that. If whoever the child resides and live with, that person should, whoever has custodial custody with the custodial parent. That means whoever the child or children live with, that person should be paying the health insurance. And of course, the non-custodial parent, who the child does not live with, which is in this case is the father. The father should be the one just paying child support, not child support and insurance. That's just my take on that. All right, let's continue.
Guys can come to an agreement.
That's the plan, Your Honor. Once we leave, I plan on giving her a call so we can try to talk about things. And
All right, let me see if I can zoom in on this here. It says, Dad is active in child's life. Dad is coming off child support. Dad ordered to pay health insurance. Mom is moving to Florida for a better job and to live better life. That is the judge's ruling on this case here, and just put it. They put it up here on the screen so everyone can see here. So I just wanted to show that real quick. And I think child support is $362, which he's still paying for both kids. Ooh, that's a lot of money. I hope he has a good job. But anyway, and a lot of times, child support does go by your income as well, too. Forgot to mention, guys. So I guess the more money you make, more your child support insurance coverage will be. If you make less, then the payments will be a little less, though. I think it's 25% of what you make. That's what they say it is. But I don't know. I don't know if that's for every state or just some states. Don't quote me on that. But that's what they say the average usually is. All right. Let's continue here.
kind of get on a good level with each other.
Yeah, I think that can work. And who knows? Your job may transfer up here, and you may end up being back in Dallas anyway. Now, if that happens, you all would need to come back, because then we need to look at something different about what child support is going to be. But until then, enjoy Florida. All right. Is there anything further? No?
Thank you, Your Honor, for everything. You really made a big change in my life, and I'm glad we came to your court today.
All right. Well, you're very welcome. And if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Be sure to like this.
All right, well, anyway, that's it for that video. So I hope that's something you all think about and consider, when it comes to having a child. All right, well, that's it for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos with others you know. All right, but until next time, take care. God bless you all, and peace.